morning, everybody. I hope you're having a great day today. My name's Cody and I want to thank you so much for stopping by the farm. Today we are going to work on untangling this wild and crazy mess that is our tomato starts. If you watched the video from a few weeks ago, you would have saw how I got all of these planted, and I'm sure a lot of you thought I was crazy, and maybe I am, that's up for debate, but today I want to show you how I'm going to get all of these separated, potted into these little pots, and so that they can grow on and eventually be moved out into the garden. But yeah, let's just dive right into it. The first thing we have to do is pick a container that is larger than our current sized container there, and I've got these little pots here. They work nice for me. Now I'm going to fill them up with a nice soilless potting mix. This is just regular Pro Mix. There's some peat moss, perlite, vermiculite, and some mycorrhizae in there as well. This is a fantastic substrate to start your tomatoes in. Now that I have these pots all filled up with a nice soilless potting mix, we can transplant them in. But you might have that question, how do I get, the 30, 40 seedlings out of this one that's probably an inch by an inch deep tray? And I'm just gonna flip them over here. Start with this guy, and hopefully they'll just squeeze out for me. If they're gonna behave, there we go, beautiful. I'm going to keep the tags, we keep everything together, and then what we're left with is this beautiful little plug here and all of these little roots for that. So here's a close-up of our plug. You can see the roots are down there, obviously, and then all of these shoots, there are dozens of them. Don't they look like they're needing their own space now? One thing to keep in mind with tomatoes is that they're pretty robust plants. They're really quite hardy, and it doesn't matter how deep you bury them, they will set roots off the stem. All those little hairs that you see on the stem there, they can form their own roots. Now, if you want to, you can gently break this open and tease the individual plants out. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dunk them into this little bowl of water and gently try to rinse away as much of that soil as I can. And then we see all of these little baby plants are going to come out to their own, and I'm not going to damage any of the roots. Just in a nice little bath there. We kind of have a little mop forming. Another little rinse. There we go. Isn't that cool? So what we have is all of our tomato babies and all of their roots perfectly attached. We can pull out individual plants if we want. And from there we can see the leaves up top. We got the nice stem and then a little root on the bottom. I'm just going to place that in the middle of one of these pots for now, as I slowly just gently tease these out. Zero damage to any of these roots here, which is fantastic. Normally you can spend hours going through here trying to pick out each individual one and hope that you don't damage any of the roots, but just by rinsing the roots in a little bit of a bath there, you mitigate all of that potential damage. There we go, and I can put those guys back in the bath there until I'm ready for the next pot. Now that we have all the seedlings laid out on the top, we got to get them in the soil here pretty quick. We don't want them to dry out. And what I have for that is a little piece of bamboo, just a dibbler or whatever you want to call it. And I'll see if it'll show. But what I want to do is put the tip of the dibbler right below the root junction, and I'm just going to drive that sucker right to the bottom. And what's going to happen is you're going to push the roots right to the bottom of the pot, allowing maximum stem and soil contact, which is going to promote root growth all the way up that stem. You also alleviate any potential legginess that you had during the growing a seedling out phase, which is fantastic. And once you kind of get the rhythm of this, you can go pretty quick and super straightforward. Like I say, tomato plants are super robust. You can't really hurt them. Even if you were to snap off the entire root structure, which I wouldn't recommend, but if you did, as long as that stem is in contact with the soil and you take care of it, you still have a tomato plant that's viable. There we go, so just finish these guys, getting them in there. Last one. And just like that. There we go, everyone. So super straightforward. It's one of the easiest things you can do. Don't be intimidated by tomatoes. They are fun, they are easy, they are just amazing to take care of and those sorts of things. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. It's all straightforward. The best thing to do is to do it. Just try it, you know. The worst thing that could happen is that the tomatoes don't germinate for whatever reason, and that might not even be your fault. But the best thing that can happen is, like I say, you got, well, just in like what, 30 seconds, we had 15 tomato plants all potted up and ready to go to grow on. These will be good in here now for weeks and weeks. But it really is that simple. So don't be afraid to give it a try. You can't hurt these guys, and even if you do, it's not the end of the world, right? If you learn something from a mistake that you've made, then is it truly a mistake, right? Ask yourself that question. But I've got a few hundred more of these to do, so I'm gonna get on that, get these guys all potted up. The last thing that we need to take care of is we gotta make sure that we water these in. So I didn't pre-moisten the soil. I left it nice, dry, and fluffy, because what I want is that nice, soft, fluffy soil to push the dibbler into, drive that root right to the bottom. If you wet your soil, you're going to run into some more resistance, more friction as you drive that sucker down there. So if you're doing this method, make sure you have a nice, dry, fluffy soil. Well, I hope you learned something fun today, guys. I love doing tomatoes this way. It is so fast, it is so easy, even I can do it. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there, but I hope you had a great time hanging out with me this morning, this afternoon, whatever it is you're doing. Until next time, everyone, take care, and we'll see you later. Bye now.